This is JG Hertzner. You're listening to NX 7062 Podcast.
Yes, it is time for the NX 7062 podcast. How is everybody this evening? Mohammed, hi! Oh my God, so glad to see you. And a new face. Always love to have new faces. Welcome to the NX 7062 podcast, coming to you live. It is Monday night. It is 10 o'clock. And you know what? Here we all are. And in case you can't tell by the banner at the bottom of my screen, we're going to be talking to Malissa Longo in just a minute, but I do have some housekeeping stuff as always to get going. And the first thing I have to tell you is I watched both the season finale of The Mandalorian and Discovery. And I actually was able to draw a parallel between them. So spoiler alert, hit your mute, cover your ears, whatever you need to do, because I'm about to talk about these things because they've both been on the air for over 48 hours. And that's how I look at it. After 48 hours, it's not a spoiler anymore. So the first thing, the one thing that, and I've actually seen people that didn't like this, but the Mandalorian season finale had Luke Skywalker in it. Thank you, CGI. I'm sorry, but the fact that there's a way to put a Luke Skywalker from 5 years after Return of the Jedi into a current production is just freaking amazing. And I thought it was so well done. And when that single little X-Wing flew in and they're all like, oh, one X-Wing's going to save us. And you're going, depends on who's in that X-Wing. And there you go. The one thing is, and I admit, I looked for the glove. I'm like, oh man, if he's got a glove on that one hand, it's Luke. And then I realized he put his glove on that hand when it got damaged on Jabba's sail barge. In 5 years, he didn't get it fixed. Or he's doing his Michael Jackson impersonation. I don't know. But maybe that was just so it's like if you were paying attention, you knew who it was before you saw his face. But that was amazing. And obviously the parallel you can draw is with Discovery. That I talked about this last week when Mohammed was on the show, that a lot of people were saying maybe Carl was a Q, maybe Carl was a prophet. No, Carl was the guardian of forever. So seriously, we got Luke Skywalker on The Mandalorian and the guardian of forever on Discovery. It was just retro reunion awesomeness for me because I just thought they were both brought in so well. And I'm sad that Baby Yoda left. And I am so sad that Georgiou left. I mean, I lost two of my absolute favorite characters from both of those shows, but I don't see any way for them not to bring Baby Yoda back. Even once or twice, there's no way that they can do The Mandalorian any season without Baby Yoda. And for those of you that didn't watch, there was actually an after scenes credit, which I thought, oh, well, there you go. See, nobody called it. No, I hadn't heard that until they brought it up, or until they introduced him. But there was an after scene credit in The Mandalorian, and I am really looking forward to the Book of Boba Fett. I'm actually a huge Ming-Na fan. Since before she was in S.H.I.E.L.D., she was in ER. And she's come a long way in her character development. So I'm really, or the characters, I should say the characters where she's cast. And I love it, and I'm a huge fan of hers. All right, so that's all the housekeeping I had to do. We're only 4 minutes in, and I know that you're all here waiting for my very, 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 very special guest, Malissa Longo. So here she is.
Hello.
How are you, Malissa?
Okay, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy artistic schedule to join me.
Sure, absolutely. My pleasure. And hi, Bill, and hi, Mohammed.
I know you brought me new people, so I mean, I should have had you on sooner. But you know what? I'm really glad that we're doing this before the holidays. because you and I talked the other day, and you figured out how to do something with the website.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's only a few days till Christmas. That is not enough time to order something and have it sent to people, but they can now buy gift cards.
They can have gift cards. Yeah, brand new, figured out how to do it. So there's still a lot of learning going on with the business. So,
well, that's good. Hi, Anne Marie.
Hi, Anne Marie.
Oh, and you got a howdy.
Oh.
And Robert's joining us. Hello, Robert.
Oh.
This is Robert, my favorite Martok cosplayer. Not that I know any other ones, but he does an amazing Martok.
That's so awesome.
He would be a perfect person. Do you have any of your little, I know you told me the name of the little Trek guys,
the Trekkins?
Trekkins, thank you.
Don't have any of those things up here at the moment.
Can you do a Martok Trekkin? Have you done a Martok Trekkin?
Yes, there's a Martokin available on my website.
Which is, by the way, scrolling across the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing, of course, in honor of you being here, Melissa made this for me. It spells out ST Enterprise in binary code, and I was like, if I'm gonna get anything that spells anything out from Melissa, it's gonna be. I love my wristlet. We're working on an anklet at some point.
Yes, I had to go back to the drawing board a bit because but it is in the works.
Okay, wait. I've told you about this cat before. I warned people we were going to talk felines. This is my mirror. This is my mirror Mochi.
Oh, yes. Opposite colors.
Opposite colors, but she does the same thing. She likes to just crawl in my face every morning.
Oh my gosh, yes. If I don't wake up with mochi on my face, then it's not a good morning. It's coffee.
That was Tchotchke, and she's morning. If I'm in bed, she's like, "Oh, well, this is perfect. Here you go. Now you can't see the TV. Now you can't see anything but just white."
Yeah.
So I'm glad she made an appearance because I've been telling you about her because they're opposite colors, but they do act the same. So
feisty, yeah.
Yes. So we're here to talk about Deep Space Nine. We're here to talk about Trek. We're here to talk about everything. Let's start with Star Trek. What got you involved in Star Trek?
What got me involved in Star Trek? I actually started watching Deep Space Nine when I was a teenager. So, I watched it every week, and when I couldn't watch the episodes, I would record them on my trusty little VCR. So,
for anybody that remembers those.
Yeah. So, I've loved Deep Space Nine for quite a long time. So I guess that's.
I love people that were involved in Deep Space Nine.
Huh?
I said you've loved Deep Space Nine and the actors that were involved in that. I think you had a couple relationships. You have some friendships or something going with some of those actors, maybe.
Well, yeah. Several years after Deep Space Nine went off the air, I had the great fortune of meeting Aaron Eisberg, and our relationship blossomed into marriage. So,
and it kind of opened up, obviously not the same way that it opened up for me, but I think what we've both found is when you start getting involved in Star Trek, it just opens up a whole new world of family.
Yes, surprisingly so. It was, it's been an unexpected journey with a lot of loveliness and lovely people being met, and Mochi's trying to get knock things over. So Yeah, it was yes, Captain Dog forever. Um, so it was an unexpected surprise with so many wonderful new relationships made from my relationship with Aaron. So
That's how you and I met. I was actually sitting here trying to figure out when we met because I'm thinking I knew you before that ill-fated convention up in Albany, but I'm not sure
right,
we met in person until then.
Uchi. Um, yeah, I think that was the first time we met in person. Was the Albany one?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Aaron, you and Aaron, I mean, I'm going to gush. I admit it. I'm gushing because I've had the privilege of meeting both of you and hanging out with you at various conventions. You guys were just such an amazing match because I think you both have this amazing generosity of spirit. And I think that's really kind of like the glue, if you don't mind my saying, that kind of held you two together was that you were definitely kindred spirits.
Yeah, the meeting Aaron was a pleasant surprise. I'm not one who I'm not easy to get close to in that way. So, but Aaron was somebody different, somebody very special. And when something clicks, you got to follow that. So I did, and he was willing to go along the journey. So yeah. It's all just fell into place. So
yeah, I mean, I met him in Maryland at Shore Leave, which must have been, I want to say 2000. It might have been 2018 because that would have been July of 2018, and then Albany was October. But yeah, I met, and I just the way it was he and Chase, and the chemistry that he and Chase Masterson had on stage was so much fun.
Yeah,
and they both share that sit down and have a conversation with whomever's at their table.
Yeah,
about whatever. I mean, mostly it was Chase hearing stories that had to do with pop culture, but Aaron would talk to you about politics or television or hello Mochi. We had some interesting conversations. I remember we ended up talking about TV when there were lulls in Albany. We were just all over having conversations about our favorite TV shows.
Yeah. He liked TV. He liked watching TV.
Okay, can I just tell you, and I haven't done this yet, and one of these days I'm going to, but I just remember him talking about those Maxwell House pods, the K-cup pods, the ones with like 5 times the caffeine, because he was living off of those that weekend.
I think he brought home some coffee that trip, or maybe it wasn't that trip. Maybe it was Vegas. Mochi, please. Yeah, but yes, he was very much into coffee, and she's crazy right now.
Oh my god, that's so funny. It's like mommy's doing a thing.
Yes, she's nuts right now. She gets those wild eyes, and then it's like, what are you doing? You silly, silly cat. Yes, this lamp isn't gonna stay here for much longer. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Listen, I've got more than one cat. I've had cats come up and knock half the time the cats are coming over and knocking my camera over because I got a camera. This is what happened with my camera real quick. Because I was using my desktop computer more in the age of COVID, I'm like, I've got to get a webcam for the laptop, for the desktop, because I can't use my laptop. I wanted to use my desktop computer because it's plugged into the Ethernet and everything, so it's just better for streaming. So everything was so expensive right when the pandemic started and everybody started, all the webcam prices shot way up. So I just got what I could afford. And unfortunately, the way the camera is, it won't sit on top of my monitor. It's not made to sit on top of a flat panel monitor. So in order to get this picture to look the way it does, it is sitting on top of a Darth Vader Happy Meal figure that I've had for like forever. So it's perched on his helmet very, very precariously. So any cat tail that happens to hit it, you guys are all going to see my ceiling.
Yes, life with cats is always an adventure. Yes.
Exactly. And when you have multiple cats, it's the adventure is definitely multiplied.
Yes, Mochi has the energy of multiple cats, I feel like. She's all over the place. But it's great. So
all right, so coffee. Yeah, so every time I see those amped up Maxwell Health pods in the store, I keep telling I one of these days I will buy them.
Yeah. But Erin was more into the sweet coffee. The vanilla latte, or he really liked the pumpkin spice, but anything sweet, and he liked whipped cream on his coffee too. So.
Oh my God, so many things that we had in common.
Yeah.
So many things we had in common.
And he would say, I gotta cut down on the whipped cream because I'm becoming chunky monkey.
Oh, well, then you just get the fat-free Weddy Rip and you're all set.
Oh, that's what he should have done.
Oh my God, I live off of that. When I was doing Weight Watchers, that stuff was like 1 or 2 points. I'm like, that's worth it to put on top of my hot chocolate or whatever it is. But yeah, no, props for the sweet tooth. I am like right there.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh my God, Coffee Mate. For anybody that has a sweet tooth in their coffee, Coffee Mate makes this Italian sweet cream, and you can get it like sugar-free and fat-free and all these wonderful, and it's really, really good.
Imperial cane sugar Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, so basically he either snuffs sugar or drinks Dr. Pepper. I'm a pepper.
Oh.
I could sing the song too. And here's like, if you guys ever want to know anything really stupidly trivial, the original that I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, you're a pepper, that song was written by Barry Manilow.
Oh.
Barry Manilow used to write a lot of jingles back in the 70s.
That doesn't surprise me for some real reason. I love Dr. Pepper. I do not like coffee. So, or I should say coffee doesn't like me, so I can't really drink coffee.
Right, but we're planning on being at STLV.
Yeah.
Again, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, my plane was... I booked for it this year, then I moved it to December, then it got canceled, so then I had to cancel it and call American, and they're like, yeah, we'll get you. So, yep, I've already got the plane, I've already got the hotel room booked.
Yeah.
So, yep, we're going to be in the Rio. So.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm all set.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So whatever I can pick you up at Starbucks that's not coffee, let me know, because I'll...
Oh, there's so much.
Exactly.
There's so much. I really like chai, though. I like chai tea.
You know what? Whenever my throat's bothering me, chai tea is exactly what I aim for.
Oh, good.
Oh, my God. A nice chai tea latte.
Yes.
The original. Just the chai tea, non-fat milk is just... it's so comforting when you're not feeling well.
Yeah, I usually do coconut milk or some other milk alternative.
Right. Okay, yeah, you don't do dairy, but yeah.
Well, I don't do milk, and I do cheese. I haven't been able to get away from cheese and eggs.
I can understand that. I can totally respect that. But all right, so but because your original love of Star Trek was Deep Space Nine, but you have broadened your horizons. I heard a rumor you actually watched Enterprise.
Yes, I just finished it a few weeks ago maybe.
My condolences if you actually watched the last episode.
I did watch the last episode, and yeah, No,
Yeah.
I feel like the episode before that should have probably been the last episode.
That's what I mean. That's what most people say. Yeah, Terror Prime should have probably been the last
What
episode.
are you doing? Oh my gosh, this cat is nuts.
All right, we got some. Look at this. The Trekkins. They're popular.
Yes, yeah. Carl has got a few.
Are you going to be doing more?
Absolutely. They just take forever to make. So I know, Anne Marie, she's a maniac.
Oh, yes, he never watched the last episode of Enterprise. You have to watch it. You have to watch it once, just so you understand why everybody's bitching. But then you don't ever have to watch it again.
I was like, this seems pretty misplaced.
Everybody's apologized for it. Frakes has apologized for it. Brandon Brock has apologized for it.
Yeah. It does a disservice to the whole Enterprise cast and crew, I feel like.
Yeah, it does actually. And I was talking about this last week. Somebody tweeted at Connor a video. The guy had gotten his daughter into Enterprise, and she watched it, and it was awful. He taped her after she got done watching the last episode, and she was in tears. Like, why? It's like, yes, that's what the rest of us have been asking for 20 odd years.
Yeah, to me, he didn't really die because you could, that could be a throwaway episode.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have been known to tease Connor about that because I remember it was my first STLV and we were at karaoke and I was standing at the foot of the stage and he and Dominic were arguing about who would have made a better captain. And he was standing right in front of me. So I looked up at him and I yelled, I'm like, didn't you die? You don't get to be captain, you died. You can't say you would have made a better captain than Reed because, But
they played so much with time and in adjusting timeline that, it could be fixed.
Yeah, it could be fixed. Well, in the novels, it's fixed. In the novels, he didn't die, and he's Section 31 brought him back from whatever, and he's doing Section 31 stuff now. But it's such a poorly. Some of them are okay, and some of them are just so poorly written. And I'm not really liking. They gave him a relationship with T'Pol. Like everybody's excited, Trip and T'Pol are together. But some of the way it's been written. A lot of people, I don't like a lot of the way it's been written. It's like, yeah, you got a relationship, but could you please write it better?
Yeah.
Oh, Anne-Marie, is that serious? Is that? Oh, you're asking. I honestly didn't read. I read I read the novels sporadically. I haven't actually sat down and read them in order, so I do not know how he was brought back to life. I don't even know if that's covered, like the specifics. I just know that he's not dead and he's working for Section 31. And there's that's you never know. But I have to say, because we're talking artwork and because I've been promising to show these to people since I got them. These are the Royal Mail. Wait, let me take them out of their thing. The Royal Mail did a Star Trek series with people from all the different series. I didn't even see. Look, I didn't even open it. I didn't even realize it opened this far. But here are the stamps, and they're just so pretty.
Yes, they are pretty.
Aren't they gorgeous? They're all painted, and for anybody that cares, this is the main reason that I got them right there. Because where else are you going to find Reed on a stamp?
Oh, Bashir's right next to him.
Yeah, Bashir's over. Yeah, they hit all the Brits. They hit all the Brits because honestly, there's only Archer and Reed, but since it's the Royal Mail, if you look, all the really cool British actors from all the different series, like it's Marina and Sir Pat, not like number one or anything. So I think they went with the captains and then hit all the Brits from all the different shows.
Gotcha.
The other thing I wanted to show you guys, again, sort of arty, it's a comic book. I had mentioned my buddy Magic Lasso, who I was hoping would pop in, and he hasn't. But he sent me this, which is the comic book version of Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Oh.
Issue 1. So it ends. I peeked. The issue ends with Spock showing up on the Enterprise. So it's kind of like the very beginning of the movie.
Cool.
It was only 40 cents when it came out. Do you remember? Yeah. The cover price is 40 cents. It was the #1 edition in April. It's 40 cents. It's a 23rd Century Odyssey today, is what it says on the bottom.
Awesome.
So, all right. So we talked Star Trek, we talked Enterprise, we talked DS9. This is what we remember when we were doing this on the cruise. We couldn't stop talking like.
Yes, it was just so much fun. I couldn't stop talking like this.
I know we were spending. That's where we kind of bonded, was when we were on the cruise. You and me hanging out. Horseback riding.
Yes, falling into poopy water.
Oh my God! Yes, anybody that decides to go and ride horses in the ocean, just be aware that they don't care where they go to the bathroom.
They poop anywhere,
including
the ocean. I did fall off.
But
I did fall off.
But we were barebacking. You bareback.
Yeah, the bareback saddle wasn't on properly.
Right. So, and I mean, if you're going to fall off, you might as well fall off in the water.
Fall off in the ocean. Yeah.
Yeah. But
and it's hay that's coming out the other end. So,
First of all, it was Star Trek: The Cruise, in case anybody. It was Star Trek: The Cruise 3. But yeah, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but I think I said it at the time. And I think one of the coolest things is that there are actor led excursions, like Chase was doing Swimming with the Stingrays.
Right.
And it was about $20 or so more than just their regular Swimming with the Stingrays excursion. But we decided we're like, we're all friends with Chase. Let's just do the regular Swimming with the Stingrays. So we did the regular, and who's on our boat? Michael Dorn.
Right.
Which worked out even better.
Yeah, I thought he was a stingray at one point because he was swimming snorkeling under the water. He got my foot, and hey, Virtual TrekCon!
Holy crap! Look who's here! Oh, Virtual TrekCon!
Yes, there's a fun event coming up this week, starting on Wednesday. The 12 days of content.
Con in big capital letters.
Content.
Because we're all, I'm assuming everybody that is in this chat room and us, we're all staying home for the holidays and being safe so we can all do it for real next year.
Absolutely.
And to take the sting out and to still have that community feel. 12 days of content with Virtual TrekCon, and it's starting on Wednesday, and you can go to their Facebook page and check out all the events, including one from Lambda Quadrant. We're doing one on the 24th at 10 o'clock East. And it's a language class. If you've ever, it's basically Klingon 101. It's a survival guide led by Callie, right? And they have this amazing program already planned out. And I'm sure there's going to be like amazing other stuff, but I gotta go with the Lambda Quadrant stuff first.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Oh my God, this is just like old home week.
The chat pack is here.
Melissa did WTF. Which WTF did you do? Which watched the first?
Oh, Babylon 5.
Oh, that's cool.
Am I allowed to say that? No, it was a surprise.
We're live, so yeah.
Surprise!
No overs.
I didn't know whether. But yeah. So
okay. The Seventh World had to fix something, so like their little logo showed up.
Yes. Now we're here.
Okay, look at that. We've got 7th. Everybody's here. Geez, I should just make you my partner, man. You just bring in all the cool kids.
All the cool kids are.
All the cool kids. I never watched Babylon 5. My sci-fi watching was very, I think, narrow in relation to everything that everybody else has watched.
Same. Yeah, I never watched it before.
Oh, well, then so you were perfect for the WTF because you'd never seen it for that. See, they asked me, I did Broken Bow. Ryan's like, yeah, you want to do Broken? I'm like, yeah, gee, let me go rewatch that for the umpteenth time.
Oh, come on.
They actually have somebody, and I feel terrible because I can't remember her name. They had one other person on with us that had never seen it, so they did have one newbie perspective.
Yeah. Well, yeah, having watched the pilot of Enterprise, I was pleasantly surprised. I was actually pleasantly surprised by the whole series, actually.
Yeah, Callie said the same thing. Callie has just started rewatching it, and she's like, Steph, I gotta tell you. I'm like, I know. Hello, I've been saying this for I mean, it's like every other series. I mean, it's got its great moments, it's got its meh moments, but across the board, it was a solid series.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, and come on, the Ferengi episode was great. Yeah,
that was fun.
I think one of the things I liked about Enterprise is how they snuck that kind of stuff in. It's like they never identified who they were. They were just this weird race. So it's not like it would have been in any log anywhere. So that by the time Picard ran across them, they didn't know exactly who they were because Archer could.
Right, of course. And I mean, it would have been pre-Nog and pre-Rom.
Right.
So of course they're not going to be progressive yet.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with the Borg. Thanks to First Contact, they were able to introduce the Borg in a weird way.
Mm.
Because technically, thanks to First Contact, the First Contact with the Borg and the Borg being on Earth predated Enterprise. So they found out a really interesting way to do that. And in case, here's some more trivia, and I think I've mentioned this on the show before. In the Borg episode, which I think was called Resurrection, one of the scientists was played by, and I always screw up, John Billingsley's wife, Bonnie Frederica. Or I will screw up her last name, and I apologize. I've actually met her. Still apologize. I screw up her last name. But John Billingsley's wife was in that episode. She was one of the scientists that got assimilated.
Oh.
So there's some trivia. I didn't know they were married until I met John Billingsley for the first time in 2016, and he had a picture, and he said something. I'm like, "She's your wife? I loved her in Chuck."
That's great. Yeah, I met her once, and it was very brief. But yeah.
Well, what's really, really funny, and you haven't heard this story, but I've told this story before too. In last STLV, I was walking out of the vendor room, and I literally almost bumped right into John. And he knows my face. So I was like, "Hey, John, how are you?" He's like, "Oh, I'm good, thanks." And he had been talking to Connor, and I said, "I know I don't know her, but, how's your lovely wife?" He goes, "She's right here." I went, "Oh, hi, I'm Stephanie. Hi, bye." And we ended up having a lovely chat. She's absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just talked about some stuff that she's doing. And I saw something. Oh, okay. So I don't know if you want to spoil any more of Watch the First. But
you gotta watch Falling Towers. Watch the first to know my answer.
There you go. Way to make people want to watch.
Woo-hoo.
Okay. All right. I'm assuming that, Anne-Marie, you're speaking of Babylon 5. Like I said, never watched it. I've watched Alien Nation, all the Star Treks. Chuck, I don't know if that's considered sci-fi, but it's nerdy. I loved Chuck. I highly recommend Chuck for anybody that's never seen it.
Yeah, see, I didn't watch Alien Nations either. But my sci-fi has been pretty much Deep Space Nine, and now I've broadened to all the Star Treks, mostly. And the X-Files, woo, Dana and Scully and Mulder forever. And Doctor Who.
Absolutely, Doctor Who. All right, my answer to Firefly is yes.
I have not seen it.
It's only 12 episodes, and it's worth it. And I read that wrong. Look at that. Look, more Enterprise fans. There are absolutely more Enterprise fans out there than I would have thought. I mean, there's 3 or 4 decent Facebook pages devoted to just Enterprise. And I've said this before too. The one thing I loved about Enterprise was the rawness and the newness. I loved watching Starfleet's first bumbling efforts into space.
Yeah, I really liked how it felt.
Exactly.
Like it felt like it was a maiden voyage, in a way. And I liked how the internal spaceship felt a little bit like a submarine. Like it was still, not polished, but high tech enough to, get you into space.
And the baseball hat. Yes, I actually, for anybody, this is my advice for anybody that admires those baseball hats. You can either spend $45 and buy it all assembled from like an official site, or you can go on Amazon, buy the patch, buy a black baseball hat for $12 and have them sewn together. Which is what I did. I have an NX-01 hat. But funny, I don't sew. My grandmother was like the most amazing seamstress. I barely can put a button back on a shirt. I worked at a convention, and somebody who knew somebody, they're like, they'll do it for you. And the guy was really cool. It was one of the vendors, and he sewed it on for me. And it was one of those, you could either iron it or sew it. And I'm like, well, how much for both? So he sewed it, and then I brought it home and ironed it just to reinforce it. And like I said, it was $12.
Yeah.
And obviously I bought something from that vendor. So there you go. It was a total win-win. Yes, thank you. That's my one and only. I think that is my one and only life hack. It's how to get yourself an NXO $45. But yeah, definitely do it. I love that hat. I wear it everywhere. When I'm not wearing my Star, it's between that and my Star Trek The Cruise hat, depending on which hat I find first. Because bad hair day is always baseball hat day.
Gotcha. Yeah, I see. Mine is ponytail.
You know what though? Your hair is just so perfect, and it lays so perfect. I can't get, when I try and put my hair in a ponytail, I have those ugly bumps that crop up. I can't get it to lay nice and smooth.
Oh, this is post-wash ponytail?
Yeah, see, so your hair is perfect in a ponytail. Mine, I'm like, yeah, screw it, hat, done. So
it's still a bit damp, but,
So how is the artwork going? Obviously, we're getting you some new sales here. We sold a more top-end because Robert's going to get one.
Oh, fabulous. Yes. It's slow and steady. Everything takes forever to make. And it's just me cranking away here. But I am cranking away. And yeah. And especially the Trekins, they take forever.
But they are so worth it. They're so adorable. And again, you are going to be at XPLV specifically doing the art thing, right?
Yes, I believe so. So. As long as the plans haven't changed. Yes.
Yeah, I know. Everything is in flux. Yes, TJ, I am not going to argue that one. And yes. Yes, I am waiting. I am hoping. I am looking into going on the next one because I have a feeling it's going to. Because it was scheduled for 2021, which is Enterprise's 20th anniversary. I had a feeling that they were really laying it out to be an Enterprise cruise. They already announced John Billingsley, Connor Trinneer, and Anthony Montgomery. So, and they keep saying more to come. And I'm thinking, you're really only missing 2 other people from Enterprise that do conventions.
Mhm.
Scott, Bakula, I guess if the cruise gave him enough money and he wasn't filming.
Sure. And it's a cruise.
Yeah, and hello, it's a cruise.
And it's a cruise.
So if I was gonna do a cruise again, it would I want to do a cruise again. But if I was gonna do another Star Trek cruise, it would be the one that looks like it's set up to celebrate Enterprise's 20th. And I don't care that it's now 2022 because we all decided everything's gonna be a do-over. So I just think that it would only be fair to celebrate Enterprise's 20th, regardless of 2022.
Yeah.
And anybody out there that's even considering it, Melissa and I can both tell you from experience, you need to go on a cruise. It's a Star Trek cruise.
Yes, it's so much fun. Thanks, Mohammed.
It is. It's just there's so much to do. You literally bump into like Nana at the bar, or Casey. I had a really fun conversation with Casey Biggs at the bar.
Yeah.
So bumped into Connor playing roulette. Sang karaoke twice with Connor. Played blackjack with Connor. Bumped into Connor at the buffet. That's the first time I saw him on the boat. We were all having ice cream at the buffet. Almost didn't recognize him.
You can do it. Pitch the Star Trek part.
Huh?
Or until he's on the boat, and then you can pitch the Star Trek part. Faith in the comments. She's.
Oh, what am I missing? Oh, here we go. Sorry, yeah. Faith. I didn't mean to miss that. For my husband, that cruise would be a great vacation. I haven't added the Trek part yet. Don't add the Trek part. Just say we're going on this amazing cruise to these amazing ports. And there's amazing payment plans, and it's in 2022. And yeah, just don't tell them the rest of it. Just tell them where you're going. I think there's 4 ports of call. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I hear the boat's fabulous. The one we went on was Norwegian, and now it's Royal Caribbean. So that's the other thing. I'd love to check out Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, and I heard they updated the boat. So
yeah, it's another boat because you went last year or this past year.
This year, yeah. It's so weird. Yeah, in March, but it's still part of this year.
Yeah, you guys were really lucky because I heard the 80s cruise had some issue. Like I think the 80s cruise tried to squeak in right before everything went to hell.
Yeah, we got lucky that there was no cases on our boat and everything, everything went smoothly for the most part. And then we all got to go home. We didn't get trapped on a boat. So
exactly. Look, Magic Lasso, I love you so much because I do, but you missed it. I unveiled the Star Trek comic you sent me. Ta-da! I'll do it again just because you showed up. I hadn't heard about that the 80s cruise couldn't even go to a port. Because we know somebody that was on the 80s cruise. I'll have to ask them about that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what else Faith has to say. Yep.
Yeah.
There really isn't. The fun part was running into people on elevators that were like, "We know you. We remember you from the Star Trek Las Vegas." I'm like, "What?" Because I spent 2 years volunteering with Creation, so people knew me from the lines and the things that I worked because I was in one spot for an entire 5 days. So yeah, we remember you working the photo op line, and I'm like, "Oh, hi, okay." That was
you know what else I love about a cruise is the free ice cream.
Yes,
endless ice cream.
Yes, and endless and all these amazing toppings, and again, running into Connor Trinneer while you're eating ice cream. Just saying.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so I do have one more life hack, Anne Marie. They're glue on.
Oh.
They are absolutely glue on. So these cost me, I went to a store called Face Value, which is like the beauty side of Bed Bath & Beyond. So I also got 20% off. And so they were like $7. And yeah, so these are all glue-ons. But thank you. Oh, we got, all right, some more sales for Malissa because you do have masks.
Yes, I do have masks, and I'm so glad your items arrived, Jamal.
Yep.
Especially with the Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a thank you note and the code for understanding how to read my bracelet.
That's important.
Yeah. I'm working on it. I can't do a cabin by myself because it's like $4,300, but I did, and that's for people that have like gone in the past. Like I can do like a past cruise person, and that's still a little out of my price range, but I am looking into it. So we'll see what happens. Maybe somebody I know who's going will put me in their suitcase or something. And yes, see, this is another reason why you buy handmade art.
Yay! I'm working on your shirts too, Bill.
Look at that. See, tune into the podcast, get updates. I was going to announce this later, but this is going to be my last podcast of the season. I am not going to LA, which means I'm going to miss seeing you.
Oh,
for your birthday. I know. And it means I miss getting my anklet hand delivered, but it also gives you more time to do my anklet, so you don't have to.
Yes, because I had to go back to the drawing board.
But once you get it done, you'll know, and then you'll start getting anklets because it's going to match this, so it's going to smear the whole thing in Vegas.
Yeah.
So I am planning. I'm still looking at rescheduling. I'm just not going to make it out in time for your birthday.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, yeah, everything's shutting down still. And, there are certain people from the 7th Rule who will remain nameless who don't want to go have drinks until it's safer. So, So, yeah. So, I think I don't know if the 7th Rule is still hanging out here, but yes, I am pointing fingers. I love you guys.
Woo, 7th Rule.
7th Rule rules, but no, I'm looking at the end of February if it works out. So I am still planning a trip to LA. Just not. Yeah. But you know what? Speaking of Doctor Who, the new episode of Doctor Who, the holiday episode of Doctor Who, is not premiering on Christmas. It is premiering on January 1st.
Oh, see, I haven't seen any of the new. Well, no, that's not true. I saw the first season with the new Doctor.
Okay. So, and they brought back Captain Jack.
Oh, I love him.
Me too. In fact, there was a little game, like a little birthday game that you played, like who's in your TARDIS, and then it's based on like your month of birth tells you what doctor, and the shirt you're wearing tells you, the color shirt you're wearing tells you who your enemy is, and then the day of your birth tells you what companion you're with. Oh, I got Captain Jack because my birthday's a 1, so I got Captain Jack. I'm like, got the eighth Doctor, Daleks, and Captain Jack. So not exactly one of the doctors I would have picked, but who cares about the Doctor if you've got Captain Jack?
Well, no, I like all of the doctors.
Ha, 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 ha. That's a running joke.
Who?
No, this is the last podcast of 2020.
Oh, I feel so honored.
Well, yeah. Okay, yes, you have to keep watching.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let's see. I've seen pictures of someone from the 7th Rule on the Subspace Command. Okay. I will have to be talking to people from Seventh Rule. I've had people from the Seventh Rule on before. And maybe in January I will again. We'll just see whose schedule works out for what.
Ooh.
Wait, I didn't want to miss this. Okay. Do you have an opinion on which cabin is best? I figured there'll be so much to do. Why spring for the balcony? Yeah, we were. I don't know where you were. I don't know where you were, but this past year. But when we went, we were on like the lowest deck. You want to talk lower decks? That was us. No windows.
It was hard to tell when it was nighttime because it was just dark all the time because there's no windows. But balconies are nice. I went on in Chase's room. She let me enjoy her balcony for a little while. So it's wonderful. But yeah, I mean, if you don't plan to spend too much time in your room, then I guess it's not necessary. But yeah.
Yeah, we that's how I look at it. And it depends on your wallet. I mean, if you can spring for a balcony, then it would be a nice place to go if you just needed some quiet time, but you still wanted to be able to breathe. But if you can't, don't. I mean, if you want to save the money for other things to do on the boat, if it's more important, and honestly, I think it's more important to have money to do stuff than where you sleep. So there's nothing wrong with an interior cabin. I mean, we all survived it.
Yeah, we did, and we were crammed in there. So
yeah, we had a lot of people in our room.
So we really only went to the cabins to sleep and change.
Yeah, except for that one time that I had to come borrow your shower because the drag queen kicked me and wouldn't let me in the shower. That was the time that it really didn't work. That's another life hack. Okay, so that's 3. Don't ever room with a drag queen.
She takes all the hot water.
She takes all the hot water, and then all I wanted to do was take a quickie shower, but she said no, because if I steamed it up, her face would melt. And I'm like, I will take a cold shower. I just need to get clean so I can put on new clothes. And she said no. She said no, my face. So I said, okay. So I literally went down to their cabin and went, can I come take a shower? This is how you bond with people when they let you share your shower.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Honestly, the other thing is don't buy the beverage pack. Don't buy an alcohol package unless you literally intend to drink morning, noon, and night, which obviously I do not recommend, and I'm not advocating that. But there's a couple things that I found out. The drink package actually does include non-alcoholic beverages. It's just not worth it because everybody in your cabin has to sign on to it. So it gets ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Actually, I did. I mean, listen, we had a drag queen on the cruise. We had a drag queen.
And a seamstress.
No, a costumer.
What is he? He's a costumer.
Yeah, he's a costumer.
Yeah, he makes costumes.
He makes amazing costumes. He brought a sewing machine on the cruise, but by the same token, we drove down from Philly area. We drove down to, obviously, because we weren't going to get all that on a plane. We drove down to Miami, but yeah, I mean, I did it was the first time I ever did.
Yeah.
I spent. Yeah, there you go, Taylor. I spent like $25, I think, on Amazon and just got a red TOS dress. And then you and Nico did my hair. And then that was the first time I ever did cosplay.
Did we?
Yeah, remember I said I needed it like that for like the kind of look. Yeah.
I completely forgot, but I don't think I did cosplay. But I don't usually, so.
Yeah, no, that was my first cosplay. That was, I didn't. Oh, and there was a pajama party.
Oh, yes.
So for the pajama, I don't know if it was, I bought blue boxers and a blue tank top, and I went as somebody from Enterprise in their underwear.
Yeah, I can't remember what I wore. I just wore my pajamas.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I'll do Enterprise. I mean, seriously, I got a pair of boxer shorts and and a tank top, and I'm like, look, I'm from Enterprise. Ta-da!
Yeah.
So
I mean, somebody stuffed a big Tribble outfit in their cabin, and it was huge.
Yeah,
in fact, you could get out the door of the cabin. It's a miracle, but yeah.
So I think, I mean, it's doable. I just think it depends on how committed you are, and if you're willing to pay the money to fly, depending on
Yeah. As long as you have great packing skills, then no worries.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, we wore shorts the entire time. It's not like you even, like for clothes, you don't even need to. Yeah. If your cosplay is more important.
Yeah.
Just plan ahead. I mean, it's not that, but we just had the most amazing time.
It was so much fun. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And we met some wonderful dogs, stray dogs. Fed them French fries.
Oh, right. When we were horseback riding.
Yes. They were so cute.
Okay. And if one of the excursions says lunch is included, all that means is you can buy food. Because I think it said like lunch is included. Yeah, it's like lunch is included, and you show up and you have it, and they're like, yeah, lunch is included if you have money. Because we did have to buy lunch, but that was fine because the food was at least good. And it was amazing. It was amazing. I want to say it was a once in a lifetime experience, but they do the cruise every year, so you can do it more than once.
Yeah, but I think that experience was.
Yeah, but I don't think. Yeah, I think the reason you can. Yeah, every cruise is going to be different, especially if it's a different boat with different guests. But again, I could be playing blackjack with Connor here again. I want to go on the cruise. Yes, I have a very one-track mind. Everyone that watches me knows if I can bring Enterprise into a conversation, I will.
Wow.
And playing blackjack with Connor is always fun. Singing karaoke with Connor is fun, except Connor does not sing. You might ask him to, and then he just sits there and he's like, forget it.
Yeah. I will say that I know the words to Faith of the Heart now. So if you need a karaoke buddy, I might.
If you get the title right, the theme is actually called Where My Heart Will Take Me.
Oh, then we probably won't be singing together because I won't remember that.
Same song, they change the title. I think, honestly, yes, I'm not going to argue with this one either. And I think, honestly, I mean, besides the fact I'm just a perfectionist when it comes to music, and I admit that, but I think one of the reasons I'm so hung up on that little detail is because I have a tattoo on my back. I don't know if you saw it, because I'm not sure what swimsuits I was wearing at the time when we were, but I have a tattoo on my back of the NX-01 Enterprise. And when I went to get it, the original design, I found the look of the ship I wanted. I was doing all this in Photoshop, and I did Faith of the Heart was the words around it. And then something had me going to research it, I think because I wanted to learn the words, because it's an entire song. There's more to it than just the cut up version they use on the theme.
Yeah.
And I went and I looked and I found like the karaoke version or whatever. And it's like Russell Watson, Where My Heart Will Take Me. And I'm like, oh, thank God I found this out before I had it inked on my back for like the rest of my life. Because technically the theme is Where My Heart Will Take Me. So I changed it. So that's what's tattooed on my back. Where My Heart Will Take Me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but that is, yeah. And also I don't like Rod Stewart, and Rod Stewart sang Faith of the Heart as it's the last song from, it's the song that plays over the credits in Patch Adams. Oh,
why don't you like Rod Stewart?
No, his voice annoys the shit out of me.
Oh, gotcha.
Just never liked Rod Stewart. His voice just annoys me. It's nails on a chalkboard. Him and Anne Murray are probably my least two favorite popular singers.
And who?
Anne Murray.
I don't think I know that person.
Good. We'll talk about her sometime too. I will refer you to the Family Guy episode that Stewie and Brian meet her, because it's like one of my favorite Family Guy episodes.
Hmm.
If you watch Family Guy.
Not often.
You watch the Orville? Have you watched the Orville?
I've watched that, yes.
They've started filming season 3.
Woohoo!
They're back on set. It's going to be on Hulu. I don't think anybody knows yet if there's going to be a season 4, but I can't wait because I adore Seth MacFarlane, and I think the Orville has a lot going for it.
Yeah, it's a great show. Enjoy it. And I keep seeing Penny Johnson-Gerald post things with her mask on heading to set, so that's good.
Oh, that is good. And she's gonna. You know what? I've been so wrapped up in other things this week. Normally, I check the creation website, and I have not checked the creation website yet.
Oh, I haven't either.
All right,
Ron Stewart is the jam.
All right,
TJ.
Something that I have learned from my years and literally years and years and years and years and years of karaokeing is that it is the singer, not the song. Because there are songs that I don't like that when they're sung by other people, they're amazing.
Mm.
So if I heard somebody else sing Have I Told You Lately, I might like it. I just don't like the way Rod Stewart sings it.
Alrighty.
So that's actually Survivor. The group Survivor actually has a song called It's the Singer, Not the Song. Because it's all about the words and the music. It's not just, it's about the delivery.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like Faith of the Heart / Where My Heart Will Take Me. When Russell Watson sings it, it's like that's my jammy jam. All 50 gazillion different versions of it. I just don't want to hear Rod Stewart do it.
Gotcha.
I'm just full of Enterprise trivia. All right. So if people go to walkingartmadebymelissa.com, they can get gift cards to give people so that they can pick out their own custom presents, which is a good thing. Or they can go like Robert and they can go order their own stuff. Like more talk-ins.
More talk-ins. They're so much fun.
When you move on to little Enterprise dudes, let me know. Or can you custom order those, or are you taking them like series by series?
I'm not sure. It's kind of just wherever the mood strikes. Yeah. Okay. But I started with Deep Space Nine because, that's where my heart is.
Yes, exactly. That's where your heart takes you.
Yeah.
Yes. See, that's it. I have a feeling that people aren't just listening and watching this. I have a feeling they're checking out your website while we're doing this.
Oh, yeah.
But I have to you're going to split your attention, I guess. I'm okay with them going to visit your website.
I'm okay with that, too. Thanks, TJ. TJ ordered a Dreamcatcher, and I have some ideas for new ones, and I can't wait to do them. But I have to fill orders. So
that should be on my list after the anklet, because I have Dreamcatchers. I haven't hung them. I need to find one. Aww.
Aww. Yay! Team DS9. Whoop whoop.
Yeah, well, I'm totally Team Enterprise, but DS9's up there. The only one I don't like is Voyager. So whenever I need to have whenever I need Voyager anything, I have to find somebody else to come on the show and talk about it because I just can't talk about Voyager.
Voyager has a lot of positive qualities too.
It does, and I've been catching reruns on Heroes and Icons, so because it comes on before Enterprise. So I'm glad that I'm catching it because then when you watch Picard, you at least need to know 7 of 9's backstory. Yes, and I really liked her story. I did too. But had I completely had forgotten about the Borg children that they rescued. So had I not seen DS9, that scene with Icheb would have just gone right past me. Yeah, it did go right past me because I hadn't gotten there yet. Yeah, see? So I'm glad for that. Well, yeah, I think everybody does. I mean, there are episodes that of Enterprise that I don't like. I mean, I'll tell you that something's like my favorite show, but that doesn't mean that I love every episode.
Right. I mean, there's hits and misses in every franchise.
Right, exactly. I mean, honestly, their Cogenitor is such an amazing episode of Enterprise. But it makes me sad because that's the one where Trip and the aliens with the third gender that helps them have babies.
Oh.
And then Trip teaches their Cogenitor to read. And then it kills me. It kills me. That whole entire episode just kills me and I can't watch it.
Yeah, it is sad. But I was like, no, Trip, you can't. That's breaking the
There was no Prime Directive.
There wasn't at the time. But
and I actually, it's funny, when Connor was on the podcast last year, again, he was on the podcast in April. When Connor was on I said, did anybody ever tell you that they felt like Trip was the reason for the Prime Directive? And Connor said, you're going to have to help me with that one. So I'm like, well, obviously no, but he was, because the Prime Directive of non-interference. And it's funny because he had said, Archer alluded to it, something about, well, maybe someday there will be a directive of some sort to teach us what to do in these situations. And Trip said that was Connor said that was probably in Cogenitor, but it wasn't. It was in the episode where Dr. Phlox had to make a decision because there were two races on one planet, and the one race, like, they were dying out. There was a disease that was killing them. And the other race, which was sort of subservient, was immune.
Right.
And Phlox figured out how to treat it, but then he said, I can't, because that will actually change the evolution of this entire planet.
Right. Right.
And that's
yeah. And ultimately, the reason why it was wrong for Trip to do that is because who are we to push our ideals onto another culture or species, especially? So.
Yeah, exactly. You can't. And Trip seemed to, I mean, between getting pregnant, which honestly wasn't his fault, and then, but then the whole thing with the Cogenitor, even in Broken Bow, I think you kind of got a hint that Trip was going to be a problem, because there was that one scene in Broken Bow where he was yelling at that mother who was weaning her child onto normal air. He was wearing a face mask.
Oh yeah.
And she kept taking it off, and it looked like the kid was suffocating until T'Pol explained that that's how the child has to be weaned onto air other than what. And she's like,
right.
Yeah, and she's just like, yeah, you kind of can't do that.
Right. Yeah, because you don't know why this is happening.
Right. And she's like, you can't be forcing your earthen culture, you have to look at, you can't look at it through the eyes of Earth. You have to look at it, you have to be more open. So yeah, I think you got a little bit of a hint that Trip was going to have a problem with keeping these out of where they couldn't go.
Emery, quit tripping. That's awesome.
For anybody that since I have a whole new audience, I will say this. For anybody that hasn't heard, hold on. They do not know. There you go. They don't know how to mind their own beeswax. She was pretty good looking, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Like bald women, I do. Well, there you go. I mean, she had nice eyes. They had really cool eyes. There you go. So if she'd gotten you pregnant, you would have hooked up. You would have stayed with her too, right? You would have just been like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, I don't know.
New life and new civilizations, boldly going. There you go.
I mean, that probably would have been the end of the journey, but yeah, I don't know.
For anybody that doesn't know, as far as tripping goes, I do have every intention of walking up to Connor Trenier and asking about Trip Tucker Sprinkles, which is a reference to Lower Decks. So I am going to be talking to Connor about Trip Tucker Sprinkles.
I keep forgetting about that.
Oh, have you watched Lower Decks?
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, it took them, like I've been saying, it took them 5 flipping episodes to get to an Enterprise reference, but it was a good one.
Yeah. And it was a little lax on the DS9 references, in my opinion.
Okay.
But
yeah, I actually got a couple of the Voyager references. I was really excited. I'm like, wait, that was a Voyager reference. I get it. Basically ended on an Enterprise reference with the whole thing with Riker coming back onto the bridge. So I was like, well, they ended on an Enterprise reference, so they can have that, because that was probably the only funny thing that ever happened with the series finale, was that 20 odd years later and Jonathan Frakes gets to come on the bridge of a cartoon ship and say something about it.
That's funny.
Yeah, we did. We got some Enterprise references in Discovery. Which I've talked about, because and this is the one thing that has upset me, is that Discovery's jumped 900 years in the future, so now that they can reference everything else, because back in the first 2 seasons of Discovery, the only thing they could reference was the Enterprise. And Captain Pike. They were able to get Captain Pike in there, which is totally fair, but the only show they could really reference was Enterprise, because everything else was yet to come. And now that there are 900 plus years in the future, they get to do other things. So now a little.
My question is, why hasn't the Andorian's antenna grown back yet?
That, you know what? Honestly, I was thinking the same thing. I was wondering that myself, because anybody that watches Enterprise knows that they will grow back. Just ask Jeffrey Combs. Oh my God. Unless, I don't know if they're ever going to explain it, but I guess you could always say that they did something to them to keep them from.
Yeah.
But
I've been doing kind of a first watch, sort of. I dabbled a little bit here and there of Buffy the Vampire Slayer recently.
Oh my God.
And I can't believe how many Star Trek references there are. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I get these now.
How far have you gotten with Buffy?
I'm in season 7. I'm almost done.
Well, you know, there was one really big Star Trek reference back in, I think it was season 3, the episode Helpless, where Giles took away her powers because she had to go into that house and fight a vampire on her 18th birthday. Do you remember that episode?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was one really, really big Star Trek reference. Dominic Keating was in it.
Yes. No, yes.
Yep.
I was like, Dominic's a vampire. Oh, he's dead.
Giles got him really good. No, that's just so funny, because the weekend that I met him, the first thing I asked him about, because he has that 8x10. He had that 8x10 of him as a vampire.
Oh.
You were a vampire in Buffy? He's like, yeah, the 3rd season, whatever. And then after the weekend was over, I went home and watched it. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, that is you.
And I was sad when Armin died.
Armin was in it. The principal.
Yeah, the principal. Yeah, he got eaten by a snake.
And then
spoilers.
Yeah, for anybody that actually hasn't seen Buffy, the redheaded guy that I think came after him. Yeah, the one that he was in an episode of TNG that I can't remember the name of because I suck with titles.
Wait. Who was where what?
Okay. In Buffy, the next principal after Armin was redhead. The one that was kind of like grooming Faith. That was working with, wasn't he the principal?
No.
You know,
that was her. That was the mayor. Yeah.
Sorry, mayor. Okay. That mayor was a guest star on an episode of TNG.
Oh, interesting.
And I feel like I should know the freaking episode title.
What are you buying, Anne-Marie?
I love it.
Cookies.
You know, I have to get used to this chat pack thing because this usually doesn't happen on my show where everybody's having these side conversations.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. But I got it.
Sci-fi fantasy, Buffy and Angel, I have watched those.
And I haven't watched Angel yet.
Fair warning, Angel's series finale is a very close second to Enterprises as far as suckitude.
Oh, gotcha.
Because the same thing happened to Joss. The network sort of pulled the rug out from under him and just said, "Okay, you're done." But so Josh sort of did it on purpose. He kind of did like this, which wasn't fair to the fans.
Yeah, I'm reading a lot of stuff about him right now. So
yeah,
I won't go in.
I will say about I loved Angel. I thought Angel was amazing, but I got into it after the fact. So I'd started watching it in reruns, and I was taping them. And my friend who had watched it in its first run warned me that the series finale was terrible. And but I'm watching it and I'm recording it, so I don't know how far into it I am. So I'm like, I don't understand what they're saying. This is really good so far. And then it just pulls a soprano and it just ends. And I went, oh, now I get it.
What just happened?
I mean, yeah, so. But this is interesting. References in high school French.
Oh,
wow! I wish my high school French book had Star Trek references.
Yeah,
I mean, it had a Beatles reference. I remember it had a Beatles reference, but I don't remember any Star Trek references.
I don't either, and I don't know that I would remember if they did or not, or realize it was a Star Trek reference at the time, even if they had.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah, because, All right, so what more can we say about Walking Aren't Me by Melissa, except that everybody needs to go and
shop.
I mean, this stuff is just freaking awesome.
Go shop. Go shopping.
And I got to custom design this. Melissa asked me what colors I wanted, and I told her purple and black because it's like the most awesome color combination.
Oh, see, I would have gotten the reference to Spock because, it's Spock.
Yeah, who doesn't get Spock? If you don't get Spock, you've been living under a rock. Ha 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 ha. Do you have anything new and exciting? I mean, out there? Are you working on anything new, or is it just?
I am working to survive COVID.
That's fair.
As most of us are. But there's a lot of stuff happening. I've been doing some writing. I just finished a singing course kind of thing, so which was fun. And so
there could definitely be a karaoke duet in our future.
Possibly. Why not?
I've got an in with some of the karaoke hosts, so we'll see what happens. But you do too. I mean, I'm sure if you asked Connor if you could sing, he'd say yes to you too. So.
I've met these fellas once or twice.
Yeah, no, but that's what I love about Connor. It's like, can I please sing? Yeah, you're singing. I'm like, yay. I missed you singing on the cruise because I had to run and do something else.
Yeah, it wasn't my most shining moment.
Vogue, it was fun.
It was Vogue, and I forgot the words, but it was a weird arrangement, and yeah.
You guys left. You missed the worst. You missed the worst rendition of Me and Bobby McGee because you left me. The first night you guys left, and it was like the worst arrangement of Me and Bobby McGee ever, and I sucked. Denise Crosby was even trying to help me.
Aww.
Yeah, that's another cool thing is if you go to karaoke or whatever, you never know who's going to show up. I was singing Me and Bobby McGee, and all of a sudden I look down and there's Denise Crosby right in front of me, kind of singing along. I'm like, nothing is going to help this.
Yeah, everybody pops in.
Yeah, it's so much. Yeah, it's so much fun. Everybody pops in on everybody else's stuff because that's the thing. They all have stuff. Everybody's got stuff, and
oh my gosh, so much stuff.
So much stuff. Yeah.
Schedule jam packed.
Yes, exactly. You gotta know exactly what your favorite stuff is going to be, and who you want to see most. But like I said, I mean, you could bump into anybody at breakfast.
Anywhere.
Unless it's our buddy Raymond, who was never around anywhere unless you freaking plan to meet him somewhere.
I saw him a lot on the cruise.
We had to schedule mimosas because he works with Chase, and Chase is probably the busiest person on the cruise, and so Raymond's busy.
Yeah.
Like, do you have time for? No, I have no. Can we do? No, can't. Yeah, he was.
She is very busy.
She is.
But yeah, I spent a lot of time with both of them on the past cruise.
All right, we're losing Robert. I think we've gone almost an hour and a half. I think this is one of my longest shows yet.
Haha.
Yeah, because getting the two of us together, it's too much fun. So, Malissa, you're welcome back anytime. So is everybody else that's hanging out in the chat. Come hang out with me in 2021 because that's it. I am ending the year on a high note with Malissa.
Yay!
Yay! And then you guys all just have to come back and see what I've got planned for 2021, which can't get here soon enough.
Yeah. And go to visit Virtual TrekCon. 12 days of content.
Yes, please go hang out. 12 days of content with Virtual TrekCon. Go visit Walking Art by Melissa. You can also follow her on Facebook so you can see the things.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm all on all of those things.
All right, well, go social media up Melissa. Go 12 days of Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody that's celebrating. And live long and prosper until 2021, because that is when I will see you again.
This is Nicole DeBoer, and you've been listening to the NX7062 podcast.